Hello, everyone. Welcome to another scene for Darkness in Dublin, the Werewolf the Apocalypse venue. In this scene, we have a cub scene. The den mother has gathered the cubs that she was able to find, so all of them except for D. Um, D is probably off doing something else with her other mentor, which is fine. Um, so and she has also enlisted the temporary assistance of Joshua because she feels like that she needs a little bit of help, especially with one cub in particular who's proven to be a little bit of a handful. So, um, yeah, she has gathered them and she will welcome them and have everybody feel free to be comfortable. So, like, Pounds can stay in Lupus and Fries can be in whatever form he wants and, whatever. Um, and then she's going to introduce Joshua, who everybody knows, but she is formally introducing him as a temporary assistant to herself. So he needs to be treated with that same respect.
Joshua's he's sitting on the ground cross-legged, and he just looks up. He has a cigarette in his mouth, so he takes a deep inhalation of the cigarette before he just stands up and he walks over to Callum and he says, "So, forgive me. All right, you and we're gonna rap with one another. Think of me like that cool teacher in an '80s sitcom who wants to understand the trouble fuck up. Okay." If I had a chair, I'd be sitting on it, back to front, just to show you I'm cool and with the kids. Yeah, get me. So I heard that you've been stealing from our kinfolk.
Not really stealing. We were playing hide and seek, and
And he headbutts you full in the face. Just bang. I will roll. I'll roll to headbutt you if you'd like.
damn.
It's up to you too. You can role play it out or you can roll. I don't care.
Well, Callum already knows what happens if he tries to dodge this.
That's fair.
So basically, just it's full forehead to nose Glasgow kiss style headbutt.
So Dazzles wasn't expecting that to happen, so she audibly gasps like, "Okay."
See, this is what happens when you try to disassemble with me, boyo. On a side note, I am never saying boyo in that accent ever again.
Yeah, please don't.
That was pretty bad, I will say.
Never again.
I will never make you forget this. You will never forget this.
Cringy as fuck. Oh my god.
I have just racially profiled my own race. Winning. But okay, you'll say,
Yo.
this is what happens when you try to disassemble with me. So I'm not. So none of this bullshit. Why did you take what wasn't yours?
I'm kind of like starts rubbing his head. We were playing, and I took it. And then he kind of like slyly looks at Pounce, and I kind of had some help.
Oh, he's totally gonna throw Pounce under the bus. It's great.
Pounce is just looking like, oh?
I imagine she like picks up her head and oh.
Yeah. She's like, what?
I just merely took it.
You see, the thing is, Pounce doesn't understand the actual prospect or nature of property and what is someone's. That's a foreign concept, and I can respect that. You understand what it means.
She gave me bacon when I brought it back. And Pounce is gonna scratch herself like with her hind leg.
All right. So let me just get this straight, Callum. you and I are going to be spending some time together, and I'm going to teach you how to unfuck up yourself. Literally, I'm going to teach you how to unfuck yourself. And needless to say, if you can't learn, you'll find my foot so far up your ass, it will, in fact, be the thing that is now fucking you. Do you understand?
Oh God, out of character. I kind of want to make a comment.
Dazzles is wishing she had popcorn right about now because this is hilarious to her.
Callum kind of looks on with interest at Joshua or at the Ryan, just at that idea, as he can be a little weird. But he does kind of start shaking. He said, "Yes, I understand."
Yes, you understand what?
Then,
Angry typing intensifies.
yes, I'll do better, Ryan.
Wonderful. See, we're all friends again. You're not good. I have faith in you, Callum, that you will be able to unfuck yourself. He tussles your hair like good thing. Before he'll go, then sit back down.
Nose in pockets.
Callum
There is
kind of like reaches up into his hair and starts fixing it again.
no, congratulations. I'm sure if you wanted to have the emo scene boy look from the 2000s and from about the mid 2000s, I fixed it for you. He says as he sits down, removes the bacon, and gives it to Pounce.
Pounce will grateful. Will happily accept this offering.
He then scratches Pounce behind the ears like good Pounce.
Oh.
You have no idea what property is.
Dazzle shakes her head like, oh, all right. She will eventually have to learn what property is. But now that is out of the way,
Is.
right? So basically, like how it'll get explained to her is that when something is on somebody's person, that is within their territory, so it's theirs. Don't take it without permission, anyway.
But what if it's play?
Well, then that has already been established, and it's okay.
Okay.
But Callum over there, she points to him, likes to take things without it being pre-established as play. So, fucking Callum is such a bad influence. So great. Oh no.
I mean, that's what Callum's kind of thinking. He kind of like wants to raise his hand and be like, "We were playing. It was all in good fun."
No, yeah, they were playing at that time, which is
Anyway.
fine. But
I'll spend that rage.
the overall the issue is that Callum knew better. Pounce did not. And at this point, Pounce can still get away with that. So
Yay!
that will change. That will change later. But
Oh.
but anyway, so she's just gonna address the three cubs, and she will say, "All right, so what has each of you?" Is there anything that you've learned so far that you would like to know more about? Anybody?
Well, more about what's going on in the city, the moon.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that for sure. So there will be somebody here in the next couple of days to better address that situation, he can tell a lot more about it, about what's going on and how we can help. I don't know if you all have noticed, she points up to the sky. There are some very dark clouds up there. God damn it, Sasuke. Do you want to play punch face with the refrigerator? Oh,
God damn it, we just got a new one.
I know, right? No, I swear that the glasswalkers on Sept are just going to start collecting old refrigerators for pounds to headbutt. Like,
I mean, they will be ripped apart. That's not even a joke.
Lucas Play Toys, old refrigerators. Here you go. Leave the working one alone. You can have these. I would not put it past them to do that. Like, Dazzles just keeps getting deliveries at Cub headquarters in the city of these old refrigerators, and she's like, "What the hell?"
But just in case you all need to know, the umbral reflection of the moon is still, it's much the same as it is in the real world. So it's this kind of green, sickly color that just makes you feel oddly uneasy when you look at it. It's much more prevalent in the umbral side of the world than it is in the green side of the world. At the moment, like there's even like tiny black, almost like cancerous spots that are starting to appear on it, and it just looks generally made of ick.
Question. Since Garu are very much tied to the spirit of the moon, and that seems to be an issue right now, is that affecting us, like our rage or like our gnosis or something like that?
No, not at the moment. You're functioning entirely normally. It probably makes you feel a little bit physically queasy, as in, like, there's definitely something wrong, and you can feel an innate sense of wrongness, but not anything that makes you feel mechanically different, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Pounce now just wants to use Sense Worm on the moon.
I mean,
I'll save that for Friday.
yeah, you can do. We'll do that on Friday. That'll be fun. I mean, that is a completely logical response, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
but you do know that all the refrigerators that Dazzles gets, they're just broken refrigerators. Fries is going to have to like open them up and fix them, try to get them working. Like, here we go, get it working, so that way the spirit's happy.
I still don't understand why he's not going to be a glasswalker. Anyway.
Because he likes sewers and dumpsters too much.
Okay, shush. So she's gonna. So yeah, she relays that, and she'll say, and the reason why we're not going in the Umber right now is because there are a lot of things there that we cannot handle on our own, and it would be very bad to get caught over there right now. So nobody's allowed to go over there.
But we can bite them.
Yes, I'm assuming, Evan, that the spiders are still over there too.
Yeah, also, you've been hearing, if you peek through, you will sometimes see, even on Garu, though they don't appear to be able to attach properly, you will basically see black, disgusting-looking spiders attaching themselves to people and starting to basically start to drain them, for lack of a better word. They try to do it with Garu, and you've seen them attempt to do it on the other side. They latch on, and then they die. It's basically something about the Garu that they just don't find palatable.
I have a feeling that Pounce is at least going to be walking around with like 2 extra rage because of all that.
Oh, probably, yeah. I'm honestly, like, I should probably make a post that, because anybody who would go, who would at least look across to the Umbra, will see this and would gain a rage or two because of it. And there's not a whole lot as of right now that can be done to stop it. So,
The one thing I will say that is interesting is if you do, and it's entirely fine that you do, if you do use sense worm on these little spiders, they don't ping as worm tainted.
Huh.
Yeah. I know, which makes it even more peculiar, which, yeah.
Something
So
we'll be explaining on Friday.
Right, which that is what, which, Dazzles is just going to basically explain it as, these are something that are, it's kind of out of our purview because they're not of what we would normally consider the worm or anything like that. They're just really wrong. So that's why we're having the person, somebody who can explain it better and help us understand better what's going on to come and talk to us. This being is powerful and needs to be treated with a lot of respect, the same respect as if you were probably going to meet Gaia.
So we offer him bacon.
I mean, if you'd like, you could offer him bacon, sure. Just don't. I assure you that if any of you happen to step out of line, being a cub or not, our Sept Alpha would not hesitate to make you suffer the consequences for it. And she's looking directly at Caleb as she says this. So please, I really don't want to have to do any of your death rites after Friday.
So, since it's not safe for us in the Umbra, is it still safe for like our friends, like DiD or Peppy or Echo?
Evan, how is the spirit world affected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even Middens?
Is it possible that at least
Your set, because of your barrier, I think it's called the bomb, is fine because
right,
they haven't
we
been
have
able
wards
to.
up.
They've been poking it, but they haven't been able to breach it. You'd assume that because they haven't been making a concerted effort to, they've just kind of gone to barrier and gone tap tap. Oh, that's there, and then kind of fucked off.
Okay.
Everything outside has gotten progressively sadder.
Okay. So she's gonna look at Fries and she's gonna say, everything that is outside of this sept, not protected by our wards, is affected. So our totem is safe, the spirits on sept are safe, but everything outside of sept, not. And we don't know what kind of aftermath we're going to be dealing with until it's over. And, I'm sure every Thayer is going to be needed, regardless of rank or experience, to help repair the spirits of the city after this is over.
What if we do not want to?
You don't have to.
Okay. I do not like the city.
We especially probably should save Middens, the most literate trash heap.
I'm sure that there are some spirits that are resilient enough to find shelter or some way to keep themselves safe, but for the most part, we just don't know, and I can't guarantee the safety of any spirit beyond what is protected here on Sept. And that's just the reality of it. Along with Great White Mouse, right? Great White Mouse. I honestly did consider Mouse for the
Mouse is
Sept totem,
amazing.
but I went with Raccoon instead. But anyway, so
That may have been Lindsay's personal bias.
I mean, no one would have stopped me from creating an autocept, so it's fine. I understand.
Look, I even did research to make sure that raccoons existed in Ireland so that I could have
She
a
actually
raccoon
pointed this out
sept.
to me because I didn't think they did.
I'm like, no, Evan, look, and I linked him the article and everything. It was great.
moment.
But but anyway, so yeah, she she's not she's not trying to essentially sugarcoat anything for them. They need to understand this is a grave situation, and they as cubs are even at risk. There's only so much protection that she can offer them as the den mother, and even the rest of the sept. The only thing would be, and since and she'll say, and since Garu and what about kinfolk, Evan? Are kinfolk not affected by the spiders too?
They seem to. Those two people on sept are okay. And
Okay.
basically, what happens is some of them have been fed on, but once they cross over the boundary line, it's like they're ripped off.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay, so there's been an evacuation of kinfolk from the city to sept. Got it. So she's gonna say we have been we as Garu are safe from those spiders, because they don't like us, but the kinfolk have been we have been gathering them and moving them to the temporary quarters that we do have set up here. Thankfully, there is a lot of space, and there are a few buildings that we can house them all in. So our kinfolk are safe. I'm sure that there have been, unfortunately, a couple of casualties, but we've saved the majority of them. As long as they remain on sept, they are safe. We do not need to spend time on sept. Like, we don't need to remain here. We can come and go as we were. It's just because we're not affected by the spiders. However, I understand if some of you would like to remain here to help watch over the kinfolk, you may do.
I want to fight.
Just stop any of you from lending your aid. Because I understand what it's like to want to help, no matter what your rank or experience. So I will not discourage you, but I want you to know that there is a chance, a very good one, that you could die. So as long as you go in with that in mind, you should be fine. We will prepare you as best as we can. As I said, Master Siren will be here in a couple of days to help explain the situation better and maybe give us some tools that we could use to try and help the rest of the city fight this. Yes. Maybe. I'll talk to Evan about it. Because they're technically spirits, I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I am free to be talked to.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about after the scene. I'll talk to you about people's spirit heritage and how their spirit
Awesome.
allies could possibly help.
Awesome.
So, because when you have a higher spirit heritage, they are essentially your allies as well. And the higher your spirit heritage, the more willing that group of spirits are to help you.
Yeah, so like Fries with Spirit Heritage 5 and Spirit Magnet.
Yeah, probably. Like I said, we'll after the scene. So that's like a crash course in Garu Combat 101, is that anytime you go to fight a force like this, and it's not just anyone, like it's not just you, all of us, any of us that decide to help have a very good chance of not coming back. But it's worth it to help protect the city, our kinfolk, our spirits, are the humans that reside within the city. They are still very important. and they are dying. So it's up to you. I'm not going to sway you one way or another. It is entirely your choice.
Callum kind of raises his hand. What about the younger humans? How bad is it affecting them?
Are you asking about children?
Yeah, because technically
Yep.
in Calum's background, he sends money to orphanages, to orphans, helping them.
Okay. Basically, once again, there's going to be a write-up about this. It'll probably be up either later on this evening or tomorrow. Basically, the spiders that you guys are able to see are small, around the size of the palm of your hand, really ugly-looking things. They're essentially draining the life force out of people. They're essentially drinking them, which is making people think that there's some kind of disease that's being spread through the city. It's especially prevalent among the elderly and those who are weak, basically who are already physically weakened. So there's probably quite a high rate of child mortality. So you basically will be getting the written news report that basically says, that there's been a mass outbreak of XYZ. That's probably going to be tomorrow. So, yeah, there have been quite a lot of children who have met rather unfortunate ends at the hands of a virulent new disease that they basically think is some kind of variation of like the avian flu or something like that.
Callum is
Okay.
probably in then.
Yeah, Dazzles will pretty much explain it a bit like that. Like they think it's an epidemic, it's a disease of some sort, and it is affecting children, unfortunately.
So like Callum actually gets
And she looks like she is affected by that too. Like
Callum gets this
she
almost
wishes
uncharacteristic
she
look
could
on his face,
go
utterly pissed
save
off.
every fucking. You were cutting out so bad, man.
Or was I? Weird.
Okay. Yeah, you can take a rage for that. It's fine. Anybody who hears is affected by the untimely death of children may also take a rage. Your connection seems to be. So yeah, she does confirm that yeah, it's affecting everybody, including children. So all the more reason to get this dealt with sooner rather than later. So we will have more information Friday. I would suggest that you try to just help anybody on sept with whatever they need help with, help attend to the kinfolk until we figure out what our next move is. Yeah, wolves don't have. They have a different sort of empathy. If it were wolves that were being,
It has to do with their twisted upbringing.
Yeah, that too. But like even wolves aren't gonna react as viscerally to human children's deaths as they would to like wolf cubs, or Garu. Like, so like as in her mind, Pounce is like our kinfolk are taken care of, so that's really all that matters to me. And a lot of Garu actually think that way, unfortunately, but they do. the kinfolk are the top priority for them. But yeah, so basically, she'll say, so yeah, just help attend to the kinfolk and do anything that anyone asks you to do to better assist them in whatever they need. Callum, now is the time to be serious.
Oh, one thing I will add, because it is important. I believe they're called Gaia's breath. They're Talon.
Yes.
Yep.
If they are used on an affected individual, regardless how deep in the process they are, the Gaia's breath will be expended. It will kill the spider, and the person will essentially heal naturally by themselves. But also, interestingly enough, they will then become immune to the spiders attempting to harvest from them again, much the same way you guys are.
Oh, you should not have said that.
Oh, that's
Lindsay, if I
that
could do a
is
scene or
amazing.
something. I have an idea. It's not going to be pretty.
Would Mother's Touch do the same thing?
What is Mother's? No, Mother's Touch wouldn't. It's actually the spirit powering the effect of the Talon that is
Right.
basically giving them the vivification and giving them the resistance. Essentially,
Right.
a theurge can postulate that these creatures are so anathema to the world that by giving them something that is innately linked to the world as a spirit is, giving them a small element of that, essentially inoculates them to the thing. It's like
so the difference between Mother's Touch and a Gaia's breath is that Mother's Touch, you're not using a specific spirit to heal. You are tapping into your gnosis, the healing powers of your gnosis. With a Talon, you are binding a spirit and making it portable, and that spirit is the one that heals.
And that essentially functions like an inoculation against the thing. So it's like how you can only have chicken pox once. If you have this thing, if you have it introduced into your system, it essentially makes them poisonous to the nastiness. So
Okay.
there you go.
I'm assuming that the higher up theurges would probably. I'm assuming that the higher up theurges would know that, so
Oh, yeah.
I could.
I would assume that would be the first thing
I could
they
make a
use.
post about it.
I'd assume that would be the first thing they would use to fix their
Absolutely.
own kinfolk couldn't be moved. So yeah, it became very apparent very quickly. Anything that anchors the person to this metaphysical plane, because even though you're in the Umbra is an extension metaphysically of the world. The two are kind of symbiotic. So anything that anchors them to this plane is good. Is good plan.
All right, cool. So I don't think Dazzles doesn't want to overload the Cubs with a ton of information, but I think she would relay the thing about the Talons because of the two Cub, or because she does have two Theurge Cubs, so she will mention that. She'll be like, "Oh, I did almost forget. I don't know how, but I guess probably with everything going on. I know that the two of you probably don't have the right to be able to help make them. However, I want you to know that a Talon called Gaia's Breath that has the power of healing is able to help with the healing of humans and kinfolk that have been affected by the spiders, and then once that's been used, they are no longer affected by them. Like if a spider, it also kills the spider that was affecting the human or the kinfolk. The problem is using these on humans en masse is definitely a veil breach. So we have to figure out a way to get them used on humans. I'm going to probably leave this one up to Glasswalkers and Bonars. If you have any ideas, then you may present them to the higher up Theurges, the Keeper of the Land, or the Right Master. Same with you, Pounce. If you have ideas, please assist the other Theurges with this endeavor.
And I'd also be willing to help learn the right, to help make them.
Okay, if you are able to learn it, I know you've been doing a lot with rites lately. How are you in your learning of them?
I know a few. They're mostly kind of easy to understand, like rite of contrition and rite of cleansing. Which
Right, but when was the last time you learned a rite?
I finished learning rite of contrition about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, then you should be able to learn it. I would have, like I said, one of the other Theurges teach you, and they can teach you how to make the Talon as well, and then you can help. There is a rather large lake that is encompassed by the wards of the Sept, so we should have plenty of water spirits to be able to make Talons. I personally know how to make them. I know the rite, but I would rather you and Pounds go talk to a Theurge. So plus that gives you, out of character, that gives you guys some Theurge things. I'm probably gonna get the Cleoth Theurges together too. We can do something. Because I have 2 now. Woo-hoo. So we're back up to 4. Yay. So anyway, so yeah, so she'll just kind of leave it at that, like, go and talk to the higher up Theurges, and you guys can help get the ball rolling on that, because that is something that can be done in the meantime. And also helping making them for guard that are going to need them for going and fighting stuff. So like let the Talon production begin for the armory.
Is there human methods
So-
that could actually help reduce or inhibit the spiders?
Not that you would know of. They don't even seem to acknowledge the fact that spiders exist. They think it's a type of flu.
Right.
And
So,
their drugs don't seem to be working.
Pretty much what's going on is that the humans obviously have no knowledge of the spirit worlds. They don't know that it's a parasite. They think that it's a flu, that it's an epidemic of some sort. And no, their drugs are not working. Human methods do not seem to affect this. So it has to be waged more spiritually. As I said, I believe that Master Siren will be able to have more information regarding that as well. So just remember your questions that you've asked me that I couldn't quite clarify, that if he doesn't touch on it in his initial spiel of information, then you can ask him after the fact, because I'm sure that he will take questions. Anything else?
And if you take his wallet, he'll make it so you wish you were never born. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't think, I have a feeling that Callum is not going to be trying to take his wallet.
I was like, come on, guys. The mages just got him back. Don't fuck with
I know.
this.
Look, yeah, out of character, my mage PC fucking brought him back. So don't, no.
Christina, if like the werewolves killed him, Christina would be like, oh god damn it!
So
Pretty much,
actually, out of
Christina
character,
would be livid. What?
out of character, Callum's probably just too pissed off to like not steal anything right now.
I mean, that's fair. Just don't steal from the guy that's going to be, But,
Oh, he's not dumb.
He's also painfully nice.
he is painfully nice.
Yes, baby.
It's really, yeah, he'll probably accept offers bacon.
I I do have this horror image of Pounce just walking up with like a month-old pack of bacon for him, just like, I'm bringing your bacon. It's like, ah!
There is
I mean,
one weird
Bounce will bring
combination.
fresh stuff.
There is one weird combination of right plus gift that might also work. That is Breath of Gaia plus Mother's Touch, because Breath of Gaia, you're pulling in the Mother's breath and Gaia's breath to
So,
decrease the difficulty of one
How
healing.
this? Mm,
So you are and it is
but see,
right. So it is channeling spiritual power.
How Breath of Gaia works, it's on yourself and only on yourself. You cannot transfer your -2 difficulty.
Yeah, but if you have Breath of Gaia on yourself,
Okay.
and then you use Mother's
Okay,
Touch,
let's talk about this after the
Later.
scene. This is not something that is an in-character thing. I want to keep this in character. We are on a time constraint. We can talk about this later.
Okay.
So Dazzles is honestly gonna say that I think that this has probably been enough information for today. I would like you all to rest on it as much as you can, and I think it would be a good idea for the Cubs for you guys to remain on Sept and, as I said, help with the Garu that are remaining here to help with the kinfolk and help with the kinfolk. Is that agreeable to you?
Yes, Dazzle's right.
She'll nod. I think Pounce probably would like staying on Sept more because she can be in Lupus.
Yeah, Bounce is just plunking her ass down on the ground.
All right. I assume Callum is
Callum's all in.
also. Yep. Okay. Cool. So with that, she will basically just show them where they'll stay, which is, I think they all recognize the Onsept Cub House, which is also a place for kidfolk to stay too. So there are like tents and all kinds of things set up for, and they're the fancy tents. They're not sparing expenses here. So anyway, so yeah, there's that. There are a lot of kinfolk around. But the Cubs are welcome to stay wherever they want. They can go inside the Cub house. They can stay outside with the kinfolk. They can do whatever. So Dazzles will just take them there. She is also going to remain on Sept for the time being. And I think that we can go ahead and call the scene here. So yeah, Pounce does have a den. Thank you, players, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. We will see you next time. Goodbye.